Yep, of course. You gotta fucking give her money. When's the last time you played this game?
When it came out.
When was that, like 2020?
On the dot, yeah. I got this game day one. So you get your body back anytime you beat a boss. You retrieve your human form. So I'm hoping that the world tendency is good. Good now, so we don't have to deal with those red motherfuckers.
Why you got a stinky on you, dude?
I think it's just because we're in our human form, I assume.
We're just stinky?
Yeah, we're a little poopy doopy.
Yeah, dude, look at all that odor coming off you.
A little smelly. A
little stinky, dude.
I say it every time, but goddamn, this game looks amazing.
Yeah, this game.
So I desperately want Blue Point. Well, one, I'm paying attention to whatever they do next.
I think it's interesting that they're like this game and other FromSoft games all kind of have like a different feel to them.
Oh yeah.
On like how you approach the combat. Because like I'm pretty sure it was you that was telling me that like a game like this you don't struggle nearly as much, but like weren't you kind of like struggling at some parts on Fallen Order, that Jedi game? You're like, I remember you telling me you're like, damn, like this part like you're like, this at some parts in this game are a lot harder than I like thought, and I was like, I didn't have that hard of a time with that game, but that's maybe because I play those games like differently than you do, and those games maybe catered more for my playstyle than your playstyle. So then it would make sense on like why a game like this I would struggle so hard on, but you would like be proficient at, and then vice versa on the Star Wars game. But I just find that interesting.
It's possible the fundamentals of these games don't transfer over one-to-one to something like Fallen Order. Or maybe I'm completely full of shit, and maybe I was just bad at the game, because like I remember there were a specific subsect of bosses that I did have a bit of a tough time with. I couldn't tell you what offhand, but yeah, I definitely remember having some difficulty. God damn, of course there's a stupid little thing there. But yeah, I definitely recall having some struggles. But also, what difficulty did you play on in Star Wars?
Master. Jedi Master, the hardest one.
Okay, I also did. Really, you didn't have any tough times?
I mean, there were some bosses that were like hard, like the Ogdo Bogdo piece of shit fucking frog thing, dude. I don't know who fucking designed that one. That thing's a piece of shit, dude. And then
their brother Trogdo.
Yeah, dude.
Trogdo Bogdo.
Trogdo Logdo, dude. No, dude, there is kind of like a brother though in Survivor.
No way.
I swear, and he's fucking hard too, dude.
That's kind of funny.
But no, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I know. Oh my god, where'd that guy come from?
Bro, pulled up from the ether.
But I know there's some fights that are like that I remember being kind of difficult. The arena area sucked. I remember that.
Oh, fuck y'all.
When you get kidnapped by those bounty hunters.
Yeah, that was tough.
That was a pain in the ass. So it's not that I didn't struggle. It was just that like I struggled way less with that game than I do with these games. Like
Yeah, part of it's like you gotta play a little low and slow in a game like this. I'm actually thinking about using this weapon because this has a bit more of like a quick slash. And the recovery from I think we're using the bastard sword. Oh my.
Little stutter.
Yeah. Damn, haven't seen that before. The recovery from the bastard sword is pretty hefty. Like, I feel like the fundamentals of Souls games translate pretty well into each other. This is just a little bit slower than,
I didn't realize, like, if you, like, in your armor, like, you'll roll a lot slower. Even if you don't have, like, even if you're not over encumbered, you roll slower with the armor, and then if you take all the armor off, you like roll and evade way faster.
Oh yeah. So actually, technically, we are on the side of encumbrance right now. I think we're rolling at 80% of our capacity. So if you're maxed out at like 100%, you'll super fat roll. But I think we need to be under 70 to have a quicker roll. But like,
because you're more of like an evade and then kind of like. Counterattack with the backstab kind of tactic, right?
Absolutely.
I feel like my playstyle is more like I like to parry and then do that. Which, now that I think about it, like the Jedi games are way more catered to that play style, where it's like if you parry everything, you can like instantly tap everything, you know? Just like one tap.
So, yeah, that comes a lot from Dark Souls 1 specific. Fuck off.
That is the thing about Survivor, though, that I think you'll really like, is that unlike Fallen Order, where when you get your lightsaber, you'll just have like the single blade, and then you can switch to your double blade. And the double blade's a little bit different, but it's not too different than the single blade. In Survivor, you'll have like 4 or 3 different types of like legitimate play styles.
Okay.
So it's like one's like the single blade, one's 2 blades, one is the double lightsaber, one's like a heavy blade, which looks like Kylo Ren's lightsaber with like the hilt, and it's like a longer blade, but your attacks are way heavier. And then you have one that's like a blade and a pistol. So where you can like slash, shoot, kind of thing, like a Bloodborne thing.
Interesting, all right.
But like they all feel and play differently. So you have to like kind of like time your attacks differently with each one of those stances. And like there's weight, like there's a quickness to some of them and a weight to others. And
sure.
So that actually might make that game more catered to your play style, because it offers more variety in how you play, instead of kind of just being like, this is the way this game plays, and you just have to adjust to it.
Buck standard play style. Okay.
Yeah. So Survivor's got different stances that you'll play around with, and then you can just pick the ones that you want, or that like kind of fit the style you want to play, which is really cool.
Well, it's funny because like I've played with swords like this in an older Dark Souls playthrough. I did like a great sword, which is obviously like a fucking massive sword, which I had a really good time with. I recently played through Dark Souls 3 again because originally I started the DLC with Brandon, and I'm not one for cooperative play. It's just not like, especially in games like these, like I value things like ownership of like.
Yeah, that's why I'm curious to how like Night Rain's gonna be.
Yeah. So like for me, it's like there's kind of like this weird elitism towards Souls, where it's like, okay, you beat Elden Ring or whatever, like, yeah, I co-op with the buddy, like, you co-op.
I mean, it's kind of some games are just more designed for single player experiences. Like that's what, like, you'd have to almost fundamentally shake up the entire formula in order to get the game to work, which is kind of what it seems like Night Rain does. It's like kind of shakes up the entire, because these games don't really feel like they would work necessarily with co-op, you know?
We're still in Black World.
I feel like even like a good example of what I mean is like, you know, Doom, Wolfenstein, those id Software games, like they're fun, Quake, but like if you were to like make a co-op element to it, I think it would kind of take away from what really makes those games really cool, you know? It's like, how am I supposed to flow and try to juggle all these enemies and like try to like, I don't know, like really get into the pocket of being a badass if I have another player in the mix that'll kind of like break up that flow potentially, you know?
It's like weirdly enough, like it reminds me of like zombies. Like when you get a train in zombies, like, and your homie pulls up to like, he kind of like disrupts that train, right?
Yeah.
And like your general flow. I'll wait till I get rid of all these little bastards.
That's why like some of the best zombie maps are the ones where it's got multiple areas to do that, where you can just kind of fuck off, do your own thing. It is kind of cool though. The thing I like about zombies, which is why I would still say that's a pretty good co-op experience, is because the actual like Easter eggs themselves are more catered to you guys solving puzzles together, and it requires each player to do something important.
Sure.
And I think that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I feel like that has been hard. Like I have yet to find something that kind of excels in that department the way Zombies does.
How do I put this? Like, I've adopted some of that Souls elitism personally. Like, if someone tells me that they beat Elden Ring cooperatively or that they use summons or whatever, I don't fucking care. Like, as long as you got through the game, you had a good time, like, that's all that matters to me. But for me personally, like, I don't like there being an asterisk on, it's like, okay, did you actually beat this enemy or did you get help? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I will like, and part of it is like I love the struggle so much where it feels like I surmounted something significant.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially if my homie's like over leveled or something like that, like, is it significant if my homie is absolutely chunking the boss? No. Like, I like that. Like, it's that Vegeta in me where it's just like, oh, dude, I fucking overcame this with my own strength. And like, there's like,
just a quick note on that though, there is an element to these games that I feel like this is the reason why these games have gotten, well, one of the many reasons, but I feel like a big reason of why these games have blown up over the years and gotten so popular is that I don't necessarily feel like it's because people like, I feel like there is a sense of enjoyment later on as you kind of understand how the game works. You can get like pure enjoyment out of it, but I feel like going into the franchise, the reason why these games are so talked about and people play them is because of the social aspect of being like fucking kind of puffing your chest to your friends and being like, oh yeah, I beat it. Oh, you can't beat it because you just fucking suck, you know? And I feel like there's a huge like stigma surrounding these games when it comes to that, where it's more so about you trying to prove yourself as a gamer than actually enjoying the game. You know what I mean? Which is a shame, and I feel like that like these games shouldn't have that kind of rap. I mean, it's I'm not saying you can't like try to like, you know, there's some fun to be had in that, but it could be a huge turnoff to people who just want to play games to enjoy them, because then you're going to have this like idea in your head where it's like, why am I playing this game that is going to be a huge pain in the ass when I'm just trying to enjoy it? Also, I can prove to my buddy that I beat it, kind of thing, you know? Like,
well, before everyone was like really good at the game, like it was like a level of commiseration of like, it was kind of like water cooler talk. It's like, oh, dude, did you fight this boss? Like, yeah,
Right.
man, he fucking put me through the ringer. Yeah, I know, bro, that shit was awful. Like, it was kind of like that. And then people started to get really good at the game.
but like you'll see it in like chats. Oh damn! You'll see it in like Twitch chats and stuff with people who are playing it for the first time. Where it's like, you're playing like a fucking idiot. You need to do this, this, and this, and this. And I'm like,
Sure.
you know. And I'm like, I just don't like the community in that aspect. You know, I don't have an issue with these games at all. Like I think they're really cool. I love the difficulty aspect of it. I think that it's more of like a personal challenge.
Absolutely.
But I have friends that won't play these games. They're like, I fuck that. Like, I don't have any fun playing them, you know?
Yeah, that's fine.
And
like,
they're just like, I've tried playing it. It pissed me off and I just don't want to play it. And I'm like, they're supposed to be tough. And it's like, yeah, but like, I don't get any enjoyment out of that. And I'm like, okay. So like, from their perspective, I kind of understand it though, because I'm like, yeah, if the whole reason you're playing the game is just to prove, you know, like that you beat it to your buddies or whatever, it's like, yeah, I can understand why you have this negative taste of the game in your mouth, and so to speak, you know, like
Yeah.
I think there's a stigma around these games where that's why they're so popular and there's so many clones of it, is because it's just more about proving yourself as a gamer than, because like that's the thing that's like kind of ruining the magic of these when it comes to these knockoffs, is that it's like, how many times can you rinse and repeat the formula before it's like, okay, I've played this game 50 million fucking times. And
sure.
and I'm not saying that, like, one of my favorite franchises, you know, Resident Evil is a survival horror, survival action. It's like, you could say the same thing about that too, right? Well, I just think that at some point in that franchise, you have to do something to mix it up, to be like, yeah, this has the same DNA, but there's something else going on here that separates it from the other ones.
Yeah, naturally, you want a little bit of, well,
I feel like actual From Software games do that. The knockoff games, I don't really feel like they do that. I feel like they're just more like, hey, doesn't this feel like their games?
I guess
As opposed to, like, you know, you play Sekiro and then you play Demon Souls, they're completely different feeling games. Like,
absolutely, God, you're not even lying.
but you get what I'm saying? I think ultimately the where the fatigue is starting from is that, I think, where it's just like people are playing the games for the wrong reasons. Instead of playing them and judging them as video games. And so I don't feel like anybody's really calling them out and being like, hey, you know what? Like, why are we getting a million of the same fucking video game, you know? Like,
So,
you get what I mean?
like,
That's no knock to From Software. It's more of a knock to the other developers who have no originality. Like,
well, like, and this is like a two-pronged conversation, because, like, I think it's fine, like, to play these games for like a level of like, it's just a difficult game. Like, it's fine if you approach it like that, because
Yeah.
there's so many games in like that just want to hold your hand where it's like, nah, I like a little resistance here and there. Like,
Sure.
I don't need a white Tanuki suit to make every level absolutely
Right.
free.
Right. You
And
don't need a
then-
god mode, essentially. Yeah.
Well, and then so like conversely with what you're saying of like sameness across the board. So like we've had the conversation about Souls and like a lot of Souls likes, and I don't disagree at all. And
They're arguably the most popular types of games out right now.
right now I would actually disagree.
What do you think is the most popular
because
type of video game out right now?
There's trends. So like there was Souls.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fortnite, well, the battle royale genre exploded, and
Sure.
then everything got like a battle royale. But now the new hotness, you might be able to hazard a guess on this one.
Is it extraction shooters?
Absolutely. So it's just because like
I agree with that, but I mean they're still making so many of these clones of FromSoft
Yes.
games that I don't know. Like I think extraction shooters are really hot right now.
well, and that's kind of what I'm getting at a little bit. Is like it's
I don't know if they're more popular though than these types of games, you know? Like and I'm not even a huge fan of these types of games, but there's no denying the popularity.
I don't
Like-
disagree with that sentiment either. It's just the fact that like we've talked like when a game comes out, like it's trying to make its profits, it's trying to do its rounds. So the reason we get a lot of copy paste is like companies don't want to take risks, so they're
Right.
going to hedge
We've
their
talked about
bets
that before, yeah.
on a already proven formula.
Yeah, why
this
would you
formula
put-
already works?
Yeah, it's a multi-million-dollar industry at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you risk that much money for something that could potentially be a dud? I get that, but it's a shame that like the industry has gotten to that point. And I know we've talked about this before, but like you could take that exact concept and apply it to everything else,
Absolutely.
you know, and into the American culture as a whole. Like, why would you change up anything musically if all of those that type of genre
Is
is
succeeding
working
right now.
So let's just get 20 clones of that genre. Let's get 20 clones of that movie. Let's get 20 clones of this fucking show or this game. And it's just a shame because I feel like what's happened to the film and music industry has happened to the video game industry in less than 2 decades. You get what I mean? Like, you got to think of where the video game industry was in the that we are on some fucking cooking shit right now on this subject. Holy fuck. You got to think of where the video game industry was in, let's say, the 90s. I would say there was some good games, obviously established franchises there like Resident Evil and your, Spyros and Metal Gear Solid. You had your established franchises, right? That stuck. They threw it at the wall and it stuck, right? But I feel like where the industry really hit its stride in terms of just like, okay, let's actually get crazy with what we can come up with was the PS2 era. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's when they were like, okay, we understand the Polygon era a little bit better. PlayStation 1 was more of like let's get our footing on how this shit works, right? PS2 era was like, all right, we understand how to develop these games. Now let's get creative with the ideas,
Yeah,
right?
let's make it our own.
Now you got to think that wasn't that long ago. It was a long time ago,
20-some years
but
ago.
it wasn't that long ago in terms of like overall narrative on the industry, right?
How the fuck is bro?
Still standing.
Bro is standing on a prayer right now. The fuck off me,
You
bitch.
can't even hit him, bro. You throw something at him, you got a knife. Oh,
Stupid. How is he alive?
he's still
What the
alive,
fuck?
bro. You know what? You got to respect the game. Oh no, he's dead. But it's just like it's not that long ago. Like if you think about the
In the
film
grand
industry, the
scope,
film
yeah.
industry's been around for fucking ever, dude. Like, so what's happening to the film industry? It's like taken that long for the film industry to get to that point, you know? Same thing with music. I mean, music's been around forever, and music's always kind of done that with the trends, right? Well, you'll have like a staple
Ragtime, yeah.
kind of sound of that decade, right?
Sure.
But I don't. That's not to the extent of what music is right now. There's nothing defining music at the moment, which is a big problem for music. As far as in terms of making money, I think it's a good thing for the artist because its audiences are now capable of finding the type of music they like and seeking out artists that they can relate with more. It's not so much of like this band's popular, I'm gonna listen to them. It's more so of like, oh, I found this band you know, through TikTok, or I found it through. So there's a bit more of like user freedom there. But as far as like a trend to like continue making money and blow up these mega artists like you get with Post Malone and like all these other artists from the tens, there's nothing really standing out that way, right? You'll always have your pop artists, right? Like your Sabrina Carpenters, your Madonnas, your Lady Gagas, your Keshas. You'll always have those pop artists, right? But in terms of like, this is an artist that is like spearheading a new genre of music right now.
It doesn't exist right now.
Not right now, no. And I don't think that's a necessarily good thing, because you want to have at least a genre that comes out every decade that flips the industry on its head to inspire new generations of kids to make a new type of subgenre, right? I think video games are now running into that same trend too, sadly.
Agreed.
Where it's like back when we used to have a lot of these developers kind of like taking risks and being like, a Naughty Dog game feels like a Naughty Dog game. A Santa Monica game feels like a Santa Monica. A FromSoft game feels like a From, you know what I mean? Every developer had their thing, and you knew kind of roughly what you're going to be getting because they've already established
their feel,
that
their style,
sound, so to speak, right? If you want to talk about it in terms of music. Right now, I feel like it's the trend of like the 10s rap era, or like the 90s grunge, which 90s grunge did the same thing, where it's like you had your Nirvanas, which paved the way for a brand new sound. Then you had 50 other fucking bands that sounded exactly like Nirvana, you know? And I think that's kind of what's happening with the video games. And there's still games out there that like
indie,
but even like the Star Wars game, I'm excited for that. It's going to be an RPG. We don't know how the gameplay is going to be. We don't know if it's going to be turn-based or if it's going to be like this, or if it's like this, then that kind of further proves my point. But I'm kind of rambling, but you kind of get what I'm saying, right? Like there's some games out there that will obviously interest me because they're doing something different or trying to do something different. It's just a shame that it feels like every 5 trailers of a new game that all feel like From Software games, we'll get one trailer. It's like, oh, that looked different.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And like that's why like any excitement that does come from me is like is kind of like a returning IP. Like when I saw Prince of Persia, even though it's a remake, I'm just like, dude, we haven't gotten well, we got that one Prince of Persia game, the fucking Metroidvania. But I'm like, is that Prince of Persia? Is it really?
Yeah.
I'm like, we haven't got anything significant from that IP in so long. And I'm like, all right, like, will I pick it up? Maybe, maybe not. Like, I know what Sands of Time is at the end of the day. But, the fucking Tomb Raider.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, that actually kind of got me. I'm like,
new Mega Man game coming out?
Yeah, like, that might get me. Like,
Okay, another one that I'm, like, actually kind of intrigued in from the Games Awards is from the creator of Burnout and Need for Speed, that Star Wars pod racing game.
Ah, right.
Now take Star Wars out of it, like, genuinely. The reason why I'm intrigued in that is because I'm like, okay, finally we're getting a racing game with some sort of unique twist to make the racing potentially be unique and separate itself from every other fucking racing game. You know what I mean? Like you can only, like, it's a fucking alien like ship, you know? Like, you can get really creative with how those race and how those feel to race and like how the maps are, and you can get like F-Zero type shit, you know what I mean? Or like, so I think there's potential in a game like that to be like, oh, okay, so it's from the developers of Burnout and Need for Speed, but they're gonna try and do something different, you know?
I did not know. This might be a glitch and unintended, but I just kind of like, I don't think that's supposed to work like that, but I'm happy it does, because that means I don't get plagued.
But you get what I'm saying? So that's why that kind of, I was like, oh, okay, that's actually cool. It's because it's like, instead of getting Need for Speed 57, where it's like, you know, like they all somewhat feel the same.
Oh my god!
You can get a new racing game with a little bit of a twist on it, you know, that game. So that intrigues me. I'm curious to see how the gameplay of that'll turn out. I might pick that up depending on how good it looks.
Dude, especially if you could play that in like VR or something.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm saying. And then like, think of how creative you can get with the tracks.
Yeah, just
you get
really
what I'm saying?
out there. Well, like the tracks, the environments,
The
like
way each pod will race, because pods are different. So it's like this pod is like got more like you can have more like acceleration or drift on certain pods, or like they have cool abilities, and you can get really creative with that. So I'm really curious to see how that turns out.
this is maybe me giving the developer a little bit too much credit, but like I'm a sucker for environments, but if the environment actually has an effect on how you race, like, oh, the atmosphere is very dense in this area, so you'll have to have like a low, like a wing on it, so you can keep your downforce more
Dude,
stable.
that's what I'm saying. So like they're like, oh, this planet has got like a density in the air that affects like your pod.
That'd be so sick.
Like that would be way fucking cool. So yeah, I'm very interested in a game like that. Ace Combat 8, I'm intrigued with.
Cody, you made it.
Dude, we got there. Let's go.
I'm gonna piss my. Speaking of pissing my pants, one sec.
So yeah, the Ace Combat game.
Ooh.
I'm intrigued in that as well.
Me too, actually.
Yeah, I was telling you that Ace Combat 4, I have that for the PS2. I started it, and it actually kind of had like an interesting story behind it, I thought. So I'm curious to know how like the story is. I didn't know there was like an actual like legit story throughout those games. So I may have to like deep dive that franchise and give it a chance.
Well, then for me, you're kind of like the guy that I talk with the most about VR specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Lord Slug from the Dragon Ball Z movie, Lord Slug.
Hell yeah, dude. I think we've attempted this boss before.
We have, yes.
Dude, that's just Ouroboros from Resident Evil 5, dude.
When we tried him, I died very unceremoniously in a way that wasn't very cool. And I'm gonna try to not do the same thing.
Are you more excited now for Resident Evil 9 after the Leon trailer?
What is bro doing? Yeah, I mean, oh, he healed himself, eh? Yeah, dude, like seeing Leon crop up at any time is like very exciting because like he is the character I'm the most familiar with in the franchise. So anytime I see this fella, like it is exciting. Oh, he is healing, you son of a bitch.
I wonder, see, this is the only thing that now that I think about it, I'm slightly worried about with Resident Evil 9. Is I hope those two tones don't
conflict with each other?
Yeah. Now that I think about it. I just wonder how they're going to balance that out. I wonder if it's going to be like a Last of Us 2 thing where you play like a few hours as Grace, and then you play and then it'll be like 2 hours before Grace got to Raccoon City, and then you play as Leon for like 5 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope those tones don't conflict with each other. If they do it right and they pace it right, it should be brilliant.
Ow.
Because you want horror in there, you want it to be scary. You gotta, especially when you're making the last Resident Evil game, you've got to put survival horror in there, which is where the game's roots are. Oh. But you also got to put in the action horror, which is what popularized the franchise in the PS2 era, right? So I'm super excited. I know people are like, Leon again? I'm like, yes, Leon again. Dude, he's the best character in the fucking franchise. Yeah, like, why are we pressed about Leon being in the game? I don't get that.
Quite literally the GOAT.
Yeah, people are like, some people are just like already annoyed with it. They're just like, I bet you he's gonna say some cheesy one-liner when he gets. I'm like, yeah, he is, dude. I'm like, why are we fucking bagging on this game? Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I did not know people are out there like hating on Resident Evil. I'm like, every Resident Evil game has been good. Like, legitimately. Like, what are we talking about?
I mean, it's just popular to hate on everything.
I know. It feels like everybody's hating on everything today. It's like,
yay!
Nice, dude.
That's what I'm saying. That oftentimes the environments are harder than the actual, like, bosses that you encroach. It's because you have to do the trek all at once oftentimes. And in this game, there's rarely shortcuts. So, like...
Nice, dude. Well, look at that. Good thing we started doing this one again. We gave another attempt.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, it is a marathon, but, like, the thing that frustrates a lot of people is, like... the level of forced patience that you have to have on yourself to go through the level in its entirety and then fight the boss at the end of the day, expending your resources, and then when you get here, it's like, okay, like hopefully I didn't expend all my resources, and then if you die, you have to do that patience all over again.
And that element of it is what I would think would make me more intrigued to play these games, because Resident Evil does a similar thing with its bosses. Where it's like if you go into, especially if you play it on a harder difficulty, you go into this boss fight, item management is a huge thing, resource management. It's like, okay, do I have enough ammo to kill this guy?
Absolutely.
You know, am I going to need more ammo? Am I going to want this rocket launcher I have in this storage crate? Or can I just beat him with the Magnum? You know what I mean? So it's that aspect I feel like I can relate to this game a lot. So it's like I feel like that should intrigue me.
The Swamp of Sorrow, bro. The names on these. That's
my nether regions.
This is 3-2. But I mean we can wrap up. We conquered 2 things, which is much greater than conquering 0 things, which is what we did last time, unfortunately. Yeah. But so what were you just saying? Because obviously I was a little locked in. So, okay, so, like, it's popular hating on everything. Everyone's like, oh, I hope Leon doesn't fucking just say some corny shit.
Yeah, it just seems like people are just... I just think people are just angry a lot lately with everything.
It's because we've been getting so much bad shit that it's like, oh my god. It's part of it, I think, is they don't want to ruin something that's precious in their mind, and there's been a lot of potential for that lately, especially in these big name IPs, where they're just coming out and then just shitting the bed. I'm like, oh, okay, like, do I even like this thing anymore? Like, I liked everything before, much like Star Wars. Fucking, you had all this good shit, and then you come along and ruin it, and it makes you like, oh, they're making a Star Wars.
Yeah,
they're touching the character Leon, which is so precious to me.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying is that like I just don't feel like with at least Resident Evil's track record lately, I'm like that doesn't there's no merit behind that statement. I'm like we're really gonna rip on Resident Evil just cause? I'm like,
but it's the impending fear that they might fuck
it up. Yeah, I get that, but if a developer hasn't given you any reason to lose doubt, then you shouldn't go into it with doubt. I did the same thing with Last of Us 2. Now I have somewhat of a bit of doubt with the intergalactic game coming out, but I went into Last of Us 2 hyped. I was like,
to be determined.
Naughty Dog has never missed up to that point, in my opinion. Now, some people would say Last of Us 2 is a masterpiece, which is crazy that I'm hearing that more and more these days, that like people love that game. And I'm like, I feel like we played a completely different game. I'm like, I personally in the boat of I thought the writing was terrible and the structure of the story was awful and the characters were not memorable, and I don't know. I am in the camp of I did not like Last of Us 2, but there is a small cult following, or maybe even large cult following of Last of Us 2. So, you know, maybe people will still view Naughty Dog as like the GOATs, which, you know, to be fair, one miss out of like 15 games, gotta give it to them. They're still great. Like,
who is... and I think I already know. Who is your GOAT developer / publisher?
I know at one point I would have said Naughty Dog. They're definitely still up there for me, I think.
Just I know because what I would say.
The Last of Us 1, all the Uncharted games, all the Jack games.
One blemish on the face of perfection with The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, so that's why I'd like that. You know what I mean?
I know what I would say. And you
got one strikeout out of fucking how many up at bats, and you hit home runs. You can't fucking knock them for one strikeout. You know what I mean? Like,
and I've said this a number of times, but I think it's Capcom.
Capcom? I can't even argue that. Number one developer, dude,
or publisher. We'll just go back to the main, and we can chat to our own accord.
It's tough. I mean, I know it's once again popular to hate on them, but if you got to put Rockstar in that conversation.
Really? Well, yeah. Okay, so Rockstar's policies are terrible.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, same
thing with
games
they make, however.
It's the same way I feel about Nintendo. It's like Nintendo, it's like I can say what I want left and right about, you know, their business practices and how they handle content creators and how their games are distributed and, you know, their prices and stuff on games that are fucking 15 years old. I could say all that shit, right? They still put out good games. You know, from what I've played, I haven't played anything new from them. And I know people are mixed on some of the newer stuff, but Super Mario Odyssey is fucking, in my opinion, a masterpiece platformer. I think that game's incredible. I think Breath of the Wild's incredible. So Nintendo has got to be up there as well. Obviously, I think Nintendo's got to be up there. But I do think that Rockstar's in that conversation too. I mean, I know it's popular to hate on what's popular, but GTA, almost all those games are great. I liked GTA 5. I just played it not too long ago. I thought it was great.
Your Red Dead's, your Bully.
Dude, Red Dead Redemption is a fucking masterpiece. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a fucking masterpiece. Bully is a great game.
I'm a little mad because they were slated to make a sequel to Bully that was going to follow. I never played Bully. I played like a chunk of it, but it was going to be his like college life.
That would have been cool.
I'm like, oh, that would have been cool, but that project got scrapped, and it's rough to see like fucking what is it?
Max Payne?
Something just got bought out. I think it was related to Xbox or something like that, and a bunch of projects got shut down because Xbox or Microsoft's team got bought out. So like a bunch of games that were slated to come out just got fucking wrecked, and that's largely in part because of the AI situation. So, dude, like, I know...
Interesting.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the titles off the top of my head that got smoked, but yeah, there were some, and people are definitely mad, and dude, reasonably so. I mean...
You know what's crazy is that at the fucking Game Awards, like, id Software was like one of the only other developers besides the developer of Expedition 33 that won any award.
Dude, yeah.
Do you remember that? Because Doom the Dark Ages won an award for, like, best sound design. Every other award was Expedition 33.
Wait, did I just...
What?
Did I just delete Demon Souls? Did I close it? I might have just deleted Demon Souls.
Nice.
I can redownload
Hell
that. That's
yeah,
not,
dude.
That's not that big a problem.
I know this is another controversial one because it's popular, and you know what? This one deserves the hate currently. And I say that because they have been slacking for like the last 10 years. And the last game they put out was mediocre as fuck. But their track record is there's some great fucking games. You got to put Bethesda in there. I think that Skyrim is a great fucking game. I think Fallout 4 is a great game. I think Fallout 3 is a great game. I know Obsidian made New Vegas, but still using the assets of Bethesda. And Oblivion's a great game. So I minus Starfield, you got in Fallout 76, you got to put Bethesda there. From Software's definitely got to be there too.
It is, but like Capcom for me is so much more versatile of a publisher, and they have I love all the Souls games, but they're only Souls games at the end of the day. Capcom has Resident Evil, Capcom has Street Fighter, Capcom has Monster Hunter. If you're a Monster Hunter fan, Capcom has like these weird games that they publish in the early 2000s on the PS2 that have no business being in the Capcom library. They have Mega Man, they have Marvel vs. Capcom, they have CBS Chaos. I think Capcom versus SNK is published by Capcom. Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Like, you have all these games, and Devil May Cry. I'm just like, dude, fucking with Capcom's library, how can you not glaze the shit out of Capcom? Obviously, they've had their stumbles in the past, but as far as I'm concerned,
yeah, Capcom's probably got to be number one if it's not someone like Rockstar.
In my opinion.
No, you're right, though. I mean, Capcom's got a lot of great franchises, and they're low-key kind of carrying the industry on its back at the moment. I'm not even going to lie.
Well,
in terms of creativity, in terms of just publishing great games, in terms of just staying true to what the games are and not caving into certain trends. And, I think that, yeah, they got to be up there as number one. I don't see what else
so outside, and this can be wrapping thought here, or we can keep going, doesn't really matter. Outside of Resident Evil, is there anything that could come from Capcom that you'd be like, all right, fuck yeah, sign me up?
They made a Beautiful Joe 3. That'd be crazy.
That would be cool. Hell yeah.
I don't know. What I gotta like really think of like all of Capcom's games now.
Okami.
Like if they made like a new Lost Planet, that'd be kind of cool. Like, I don't know. I'd have to like, I gotta like really think of all their games. Like, let me see what all,
go
all
for
their
it.
franchises are. Let's see.
Let me do Bobby.
Oh, dude, Dino Crisis would be fucking amazing.
Dinosaur Cataclysm. Dude, actually, that could just be the fucking title of the next one. Dinosaur Cataclysm.
Yeah, dude. Well, they're making a new Mega Man. That's kind of exciting.
Yeah, Mega Man.
Yeah. I think for me personally, I think seeing a Dino Crisis would be incredible.
Okay.
They're already kind of on their way to making some interesting stuff like that Pragmata game with that dude with the fucking little girl on his back or whatever. It looks like a Death Stranding kind
Was
of
that
thing.
Capcom?
That's Capcom.
Oh
yeah.
shit! All right, fuck.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm gonna be intrigued with pretty much anything they do because they haven't really fucked up yet. I mean, they've stumbled throughout their career as a company, but I think that for the most part, they've really found their way back and are doing good. That's why I'm so shocked with it's like a small minority of people that are like even ripping on Resident Evil 9 to any extent, but still, it just surprises me. And I'm like,
How
I don't
could you?
understand. Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand. Like they haven't earned that. Is it like I'm like you'll get fatigued over Resident Evil, but you don't get fatigued over the like 10 FromSoft clones? I'm like, I don't get that, dude. Like, and I feel like it's like that fan base too. It's like if it's not, a FromSoft clone, I don't give a fuck about it. I'm like, bro, that like.
I mean, I get having the genre of game that you like for sure, and I mean, if that's your bag, that's your bag. But like, I'll take a publisher or company that stumbles a little bit. It's like, we just kind of made a bad game. Sorry. Like, go on to GG's, go on to the next one. Versus fucking. I mean, I feel like it's just much more commonplace to just fucking like, dude, Nintendo fucking sucks. Nintendo. Like, I see it not everywhere, but like it's like very divided where it's just like, oh yeah, $90 for fucking whatever game.
It's just ridiculous. I just think the Nintendo, the problem with Nintendo is that their devoted fans are just like not willing to budge at all. Like when it comes to like what Nintendo does, they're just like, yeah, we'll give you the money no matter what. I'm like, bro, okay, like is the Donkey Kong Bonanza game really worth you dropping $550 for a Switch 2 and $90 for a fucking game? Are you shitting me?
I mean, I did feel like we were at the end of the Switch one. Like, I don't think there is a doubt that they couldn't have continued to develop for the Switch one, but you're developing with so much harder limitations than what you'd be down like for a Switch 2. And Switch 2 isn't even like the precipice. Like Switch 2 isn't even caught up with the modern day consoles, and that's kind of how Nintendo's always been, where it's just like they've always been behind on the bell curve as far as pushing their tech, but what they develop with their tech is always like very solid. I'll give it to them. Yeah,
what they lack in terms of hardware, they make up for in creativity, which is something I've really admired about Nintendo, and I feel like other developers should take notes. Where it's like it's not so much about like look how pretty my game is, but look how great the game is. Just period. They're just stumbling in terms of marketing and business. I think Nintendo's really fucking up business wise, and I'm just so shocked that the consumer that they're targeting is not budging Jesus Christ, budging at all when it comes to like these prices and like not actually pushing back on that and going like, no, we're not paying that much.
I very much equate the Nintendo stand to like how iPhone users are. Like, people that's like, fair. I'll buy every iPhone that comes out, even though it's the same fucking phone, as long as I have the new one. I'm just like, oh my, it's like the same mentality. It's true. It's fucking stupid, but I mean, Ipadu, we can wrap it up there. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys are excited for. Is there anything that got announced that you guys have your eyes on? Is there anything that you're hoping to get announced in the near future?
I've got something. Throw in the comments, recommend us a type of genre or a game that you feel like people don't talk about. Recommend us some games.
Yeah, by all means. At the very least, it could be a one-stop shop that you guys can see in the video, or even just like a discussion-based content. All our content is mostly discussion based. Either that or we go full autism and start saying the weirdest shit. But
True.
yeah, let us know how you guys are feeling, where you guys feel on the state of gaming in general. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. We made progress. Peace.